Hello friends, welcome again to another episode of Magical Mundane Messages. Hope you've had a great week and you're looking forward to another awesome week ahead. Now, the message for today is, can you change your genetic code? Now, that sounds very intriguing and sounds kind of from a fiction movie because we have been trained to believe that we are what has been imprinted on our genes. And that cannot be changed. So why this question that can you change your genetic code? Friends, as you know, that I deal with people who come especially with issues around weight or other health issues, and they come to me and say that this is how my mom and dad were. This is how my brothers and sisters were. This is who I am. I'm big bones. That's how it was meant to be. Now, you know what? It is true to some extent, but latest research is actually telling us, and it has opened a whole new chapter in our understanding of genetics by way of this subject called epigenetics. Now, epi meaning something that is above, and genetics is obviously the science of genes. So, once again, this whole new science of epigenetics, which means how our diet, our lifestyle, and other things are actually influencing our genes, is completely mind-blowing. Because earlier we used to think that if you've got a particular gene, you are going to get a certain disease. There was an intensive search that was taken up for the obesity gene because the rising trend of obesity across the world was and is continuing to be a concern. But you know what? There is no such thing that the obesity gene or the fat gene that exists. Of course, there have been some references that have been made to certain genes that were found, which were leading to a very specific hormonal abnormality, but that is a very, very tiny part of the massive population that is experiencing the obesity issue. So what I'm going to refer to today is a book that I read by, written by Dr. Deepak Chopra, who I'm sure you would have heard of. The book is titled Super Genes. Now, this book, Super Genes, essentially talks about this amazing thing, and the chapter that really caught my attention is how to change your future. Now, it's almost like, how to transform yourself in an amazing way that you could never imagine. Now, here's what Dr. Deepak Chopra says. He says that epigenetics is the Greek word epi is upon, and epigenetics is the study of what is on top of genetics. And what it goes on to say is that the dilemma is that epigenetics was born when geneticists found that what controls the gene expression, what allows our genes to actually manifest what has been encrypted on their blueprint. And what they found was that, and I'm just giving you a summary of this, is that only 5% of the genes that if you had will definitely translate to a certain disease that is associated with that. Only 5%. 95% of the diseases known to mankind or known to the medical industry can actually be modified. Here is how he concludes this particular chapter. It says that you can't figure out what a gene is doing unless you know how it gets switched on and off, up and down, and tweaked to make certain varieties of proteins. No matter how perfect the circuitry for a computer is laid out, the computer is dead until it is turned on. The same holds true for DNA, which is what forms the genes. The triggering mechanism for genes was a mystery that opened the way for the present genetics revolution. Friends, I'll just summarize what I have to say by this amazing quote that I picked up when I was writing my own book, which was Happy Gut, Healthy Weight. And the quote is that genetics or your genes load the gun while the environment pulls the trigger. So I think this quote really summarizes for itself that you may be born with a certain genetic makeup, but if your environment, which is your lifestyle, your attitude, your diet, your ability to exercise, and your stress management strategies are in harmony and in balance, that gene, that was the disease carrying gene, is most likely going to get suppressed and will not get turned on. Have a think about it. I think there is a message there that you can truly transform yourself. Good luck, and I'll see you next time. Take care.